Open any Bible to the 6th book, and you'll find the book of Joshua. It picks up exactly where the epic story of Moses leaves off. For 40 years, the Israelites have been wandering through a harsh, unforgiving desert. Now they are finally standing on the edge of Canaan, the land promised to their ancestors. But they are facing a massive leadership vacuum. Moses, the only leader this generation has ever known, is dead. His second in command, a man named Joshua, suddenly has to lead a nation of millions. As he takes command, God gives Joshua a primary foundational instruction: be strong and courageous. He doesn't offer a detailed military manual right away, just a demand for bravery. Joshua's first strategic move is to send 2 spies across the border to scout the heavily fortified city of Jericho. There, they find an unexpected ally, a Canaanite woman named Rahab, who risks her life to hide them from the city guards. This early espionage mission shows exactly how this war will be fought. Joshua has to lead a weary, anxious nation into hostile territory, relying on faith as their primary strategy. Before they can even begin the invasion, they face their first major physical obstacle. The Jordan River stands directly between the Israelite camp and the city of Jericho. God instructs the priests to carry the Ark of the Covenant straight into the rushing water. The moment their feet touch the river, the waters completely stop flowing, exposing a dry riverbed for the people to cross. To make sure future generations remember this moment, the Israelites pulled 12 large stones right out of the dry riverbed and built a physical memorial on the other side. This mirrors the crossing of the Red Sea 40 years prior. For this new generation, seeing the Jordan stop for Joshua proves that the same power that led them out of Egypt is now leading them into their new home. Their first target is the heavily fortified city of Jericho. But God gives Joshua a battle plan that defies all conventional military logic. Instead of building siege ramps or firing arrows, the army and the priests are told to march quietly around the city walls once a day for 6 days. Then, on the 7th day, they must march around it 7 times. On that final lap, the priests blow their horns, the entire army lets out a massive shout, and Jericho's impenetrable walls catastrophically collapse. The camp is euphoric, but days later they march on the smaller neighboring town of Ai and suffer a shocking, bloody military defeat. Joshua soon discovers the cause. A soldier named Achan had taken forbidden plunder from Jericho. That internal breach of the rules turned a simple skirmish into a rout, demonstrating that their survival in this land depends on their adherence to the law, not the size of their army. After dealing with Achan's theft and restoring order, the Israelites regroup. They follow God's tactical instructions to the letter and successfully conquer Ai. On the map, the conquest expands rapidly into the southern campaign, where Israel defeats a unified coalition of local kings. From there, Joshua pivots to the northern campaign, systematically breaking the remaining Canaanite strongholds in a series of decisive victories. Through this relentless sequence of battles, the Israelites shed their identity as wandering refugees. They emerge as the undisputed, dominant power in the region. With the major regional coalitions defeated, the sound of battle fades. Joshua's role changes from commanding a mobile army to managing a massive logistical settlement across thousands of square miles. This map shows how Joshua handles this administrative task. He divides the conquered territory, assigning specific permanent borders to each of the 12 tribes of Israel. These newly drawn lines are the physical realization of the homeland God promised their ancestors centuries prior. These borderlines mean the tents can finally be packed away. The Israelites are no longer a traveling camp of refugees. They're now a people with fixed addresses and permanent land to farm. Years pass, and the book closes with an epilogue. An aging Joshua gathers the entire settled nation together to deliver one final farewell address. He uses this speech to recount their shared history. He reminds the people that it was God's power and not their own strategic brilliance that secured their new home. Then Joshua delivers his famous final ultimatum. He challenges the nation to reject the local idols they've encountered, explicitly demanding they choose this day whom you will serve. The book of Joshua is the definitive story of a people finally arriving home. It stands as a historical testament that claiming the promised land required both profound courage and unwavering obedience to the plan.